Dynamism, innovation, perseverance, courage, discipline, and empathy illustrate a few dimensions of multifaceted personality of engineer Pankaj Agarwal, who is the Chancellor of Shri Ramswaroop Memorial University. His ability to lead, motivate, and retain team members has resulted in the establishment of a series of entrepreneurial ventures which have changed the economic and social face of Lucknow. Born and brought up in Lucknow, his quest for perfection led him to pursue B.Tech Civil Engineering at IIT Kanpur. Fascinated by the teaching and learning process at the IIT Kanpur, Pankaj decided early to make quality education available to the masses. After working with Engineers India Limited for a brief period of 6 months, he started first entrepreneurial venture in a small rent premises in Lucknow with the vision bringing world-class engineering and management education to the youth of Uttar Pradesh. He laid the foundation of SRMU in Lucknow in 1999. Initiated with just a few students and two faculty members, the college has experienced exponential growth over the past 17 years and evolved into a mammoth institution providing high quality education. Today, SRMU is embodiment of academic excellence, hosting 500 plus faculty and 8,000 plus students. Under the competent supervision of Mr. Agarwal, SRMU has been recognized as the best innovative university in the 9th ASSOCHAM Higher Education Summit 2016 on the role of higher education in leveraging Indian innovative ecosystem and National Excellence Awards. His entrepreneurial streak has manifested itself in several successful commercial ventures and won him the Young Entrepreneur Award from the Indus Entrepreneurs, Uttar Pradesh. He is also the recipient of Edupreneurs Award 2013, Vice Chancellor Choice Award by the Engineering Watch magazine for his contribution to engineering education in India. We welcome you, Pankaj Agarwal sir, to share your thoughts and vision and to bridge the gap between the student and the higher management.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
First of all, I would like to ask you, sir, being the Chancellor of SRMU, what is your philosophy of leadership and how would you describe your leadership style?
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. Although I don't know, since I was sitting in the same boat which I've been traveling with, so it's very difficult to understand what has been done and what you have actually achieved. But I would only start that as I always say, God's been really, really kind on us, and because getting to a place where you wish to, it's not always that you get it. But anyway, so the whole agenda for getting into this field of education, that ultimately, if you see the upliftment of society, it can be done through education. You have this because you need to get people who understand the primary inertia. How to basically to create efficient human beings. So the basic agenda for starting a university was that earlier, we've been working with our engineering college, which is again the leading college of Uttar Pradesh. But there we felt that the spectrum of students which we used to get was too big, and the teaching pedagogy or the setup system which needs to push them, pull them to a designated place requires focused effort. But that is only possible when the spectrum is small. So to do that, we thought of coming up with a university so that we become the creator of the syllabus, the creator of the pedagogy, and that would enable us, analyzing the spectrum of students and giving them, what is actually required. In the same way, when you go to a doctor, he analyzes, clinically, he understands what is that you require, and it gives you exactly the same medicine. So that was the sole reason, of coming up with the university, so that we can work full, 360 degree for a student and get the best out of that student. And I'll be repeating this thing again and again. The basic, the principle of Ramswaroop has been, it has to be done with the minimum of effort. Happiness quotient is the most important thing. So that of course is the underlining thing.
True, sir. A wonderful thought that 360 development of a student is very must. And if there is 360 development of a student, then definitely 360-degree development of the university will also, go side by side. So, coming to the next question, sir, being the Chancellor of SRMU, how do you strategize about the key programs and the plans for the marketing and administration of your university?
I've always believed in taking things in a very, very simple way. That's what I follow, and that's what I preach as well. That's what we wish to teach also to our students. So I think if you produce the right products, if you do the basic things right, which is, a lot of people talk about education, doing quality education. It has become a jumla kind of a thing. But giving a student what that student has come for. So I think industry doesn't need a student who knows everything about, say, mechanical engineering, or knows everything about civil engineering. It's about a person, a human being, a human resource, I would say, who can learn and deliver. So we create such an environment in our educational institution, so that a student, is put under such circumstances, such situations where he has to learn and deliver. It's not about it's just about problem solving, in minimum time, in minimum resources, again being efficient. And again, I talk about happiness, because when you do things naturally, when you do things with less effort, you get the best out of it, so that is very, very important. So while doing all these things, we first thing that we keep in mind is that my student, my teachers, they get what they wish to. It's not just a simple plain thing that you get to the industry, because students, they take up their departments when they are not aware of a department. They will take computer science. They actually very well don't know what is there going to be there in this department. But then during the course of curriculum, they would understand, that in this department I have a place which is dear to me, where I feel very I'll give you a Hindi word, sahaj, very, very comfortable. So if you can do something in a comforting way, you are destined, it is sure that you will do well in that field. So that's what we look for.
So, coming to the next question, and it is related to the previous question and what the answers you have already told me. The comfort level you give to the comfort you give to the student helps in studying in the university or any course. So, sir, how do you try to bring in a practical approach towards courses in your university and make it industry oriented?
So like in the university, which otherwise in a college it becomes a big challenge. So here what we do is that now even during these Corona days, we've asked our teachers not just to stick to their own lectures, or so the first thing, where Ramswaroop is different from others, we have always emphasized on using the best of books, because study material is very, very important. You need not reinvent the wheel. When you go towards the best practices which are there in the world, so once you train yourself according, through those means, you will get the best, as per your training. And then when practicality comes in, it's about delivering, it's about like we normalize a class performance. Because in real life also, you will always be compared with each other. That's what, say you are working in your organization, so you will always be, everyone would say that X person has done better than you. So that is the kind of ambience we produce in our university, that every student knows that you have to perform better than the other. That's where professional education is different from others. I think that's the basic practicality. At the same time, it's not just about putting your foot on someone's head and moving ahead. It's about taking people with you, making them move together. There are leaders, there are followers, there are normal performers. So we, through our assessment system, which is very, very, we put in a lot of effort to make our assessment system. It's about telling every student where you belong to, what are your shortcomings, where you need to put in more effort, what are your strength points. So once you do that, it's actually about showing a mirror. It's about showing a mirror and getting them into the basics, which through books, which through the best practices carried on in the world, through best of lectures, from professors from IITs, professors from IIMs, professors from Stanford, which is all available online. But you have to motivate them to go through this. So once you do that, I think students know what is going to be there in the practical world in front of them.
True, sir. Wonderful thought. So what are the best practices offered by the university to the students which help them, gaining the necessary skills?
Uh, I think it's a lot of you. I mean, it's about involving everyone. So like I just said, that it's not about just you performing. You have to create. It's more of inclusive approach that we take. So like in our university, every teacher is free to carry on their courses, treat them differently, because in real life also it is if you say you follow just one step, one process, so in real life you are not going to get that. If I am going to work somewhere, I'll get 10 bosses and every boss will have a different approach, every company will have a different approach. So I should be a professional who should be able to deliver under different circumstances. So the key point is that you should deliver. That is the most important thing. Like all of us have been through class nursery to class 12. It's about solving a problem. Solving a problem is not getting the answer right. Solving a problem in real life is giving your customer, your boss, your organization, your establishment what they want in the most efficient way. So this is what we train them for. Besides this, we have a lot of clubs and co-curricular activities. Through them, a student generally interacts within their own classroom. But we have so many activities, so many clubs. So by virtue of those clubs and co-curricular activities, students tend to interact with other classes, other people, different human beings, peers, besides your class, elder to you, junior to you. So that enables them to make them better human being. As I told you initially, 360 means quality education doesn't mean anything. What you do with that education is more important. So handling people, handling human resource, I think is the biggest of challenge, and that is where Ramswaroop is different from others. We give them all the freedom everywhere in our university, from top to bottom, and that's where you have to present your own case. You have to present your own solution as well. I mean, whenever a student comes to me, I have a free way to my office. I always ask them, what do you want? You have to be prepared with what you want, not just come with a problem. So, this has and this percolates. This is through from the top to bottom, same strategy is what we follow in our organization. And that is what helps students becoming more pragmatic in their life.
That is true. That is actually very true. And I have seen it like, you have already mentioned that you always talk to your students. And so my one of my cousin is also has studied it in your college, SRM college, the institute, not university. So you are in his friend list as well. So Facebook friend list. So I asked him do you know he says that sir is like that only, that he keeps us connected with him. So that is a very good thing, and that is actually your USP, sir. Coming to the next question, as you have mentioned earlier, keeping the competency environment in the university and keeps them more motivated, or they have some goals. So the question is related to that only. So how do you help your student to cope up with the competition being so high in the outside world?
I would say you need to find out, as I said, you need to find out your own place. It is true that in reality, everybody is running for something which you don't know. So that's where, happiness quotient comes in. So I've always, through interactions, through our team, team of teachers, through team of our other staff, everybody, we have been telling the students to find out, where you feel most comfortable. Because the world is competitive, because I am running for something where I don't belong to. So it is very important that during these years of education, you find out which is the place that you wish to be. If you can answer that question during this time, which is where, our university's role come in. We give them activities in such different scenarios. Every course is dealt differently. Every lab is put in a different way. Every teacher will teach you in a different way, in their own ways, in different means, so that you get chiseled from all sides. It's about becoming a diamond which is shaped from all sides. So once that happens, a circular thing, a rounded off thing can take any stress. If you see bigger buildings, also higher buildings, they try to make it circular, because circular building can take wind speed, this, that, forces from all sides, and can still withstand all those things. So that's what we do with our students. We make them, we give them so much of work and make them work so hard that the outside world doesn't matter to them. They will always say that they've worked harder than this. That's, when I talk about my education from IIT, so I always tell people, I have worked harder than this during my school days, my college days. So that's, if you've done that, then the outside world doesn't look that challenging to you, actually.
Definitely, sir. Wonderful, sir. And I would like to say one thing here. Once the engineer remains the engineer, like you have already mentioned, the example. I think you have there must be some nostalgia of your engineering days. So, coming to the next question, sir. What are the challenges you have faced or facing to uplift the quality of education of your university?
No, there are many challenges. Like I rightly said, the raw material for us is the students, and believe me, students come from all kinds of schools, all kind of family backgrounds, all kind of mindsets, and categorizing them into different treatments is the biggest of challenge, I think, and that's where percentage of marks is one thing, but believe me, just by virtue of percentage of marks, you can't differentiate among two students. I have always found for last 3-4 consecutive years, the student who gets the maximum number of jobs is not the topper. So marks is definitely it's kind of a litmus test, but it's not the only parameter with which you can say. So that's why the challenge is to categorize the students, that what kind of education or what kind of impetus or what kind of force is required to get you in the right shape. So that is why the approach that we have tried to follow is do a lot of things in different ways. Teaching also not just one process that you follow, because once you do that, everybody will fall into different categories, and then you pick up a certain category and treat them the way it should be treated, the way it becomes the most efficient in their own fields. And that is what has helped us, and that is the biggest challenge, because uneducating what they have been educated wrongly is the first challenge. So to do that, we also have few bridge courses. We also have a lot of interaction, senior junior thing. We have mentorship programs. So all these things help students to open up and find the right place for themselves.
Very nice, sir. Sir, as you mentioned that about the co-curricular activities, I would like you to tell our viewers that what are those activities which you are doing to enhance the skills of the students or expose them to the real world challenges.
I think this is the most important thing, and this is one activity which has taken Ramswaroop apart. I mean, people talk about education, but let me tell you, these co-curricular activities, people used to call it extracurricular. I said no, this is a co-curricular. And this is the most important course, I would say, although it is not marked. So if you happen to see our annual fest, it's been now 20 years. You won't believe, no professional help is taken to create that kind of the show that we have. The kind of Anubhuti is here, Abhivyakti is there in the other campus. It is all done by the students, and they rise up the ladder. It's not that the student can become part of, say, music cell, or although they have different names for them. So step is like our dance cell. So they can't become part of it. They have to rise up the ladder. So you become, in the first year, you're kind of you're the novice, and then you become secretary, you become the coordinator. So you learn in the process. And as I said earlier, this handling human resource is the most important thing in life. No matter how good a programmer you are, no matter how good a designer you are, no matter how good a manager you are, it's if you cannot communicate what you're thinking. Communication is not about using difficult words, using words which are in the dictionary, which people don't know about. Communication is about my thought process gets transferred to the other person. And in today's world, where static mode of communication through emails, through WhatsApp, it is all the more challenging. And these kind of activities where you interact, you perform, there are cells, there are literacy cells where you do other things. There are informal cells. They will do all kind of just junky things, all sorts of funny things. Tie their legs, this, that. But again, it is an organization which gives that output. It's not about alone students giving that performance. It's about that organization. So people learn the most there, and we tell our students, we promote the students and tell them to take part. And believe me, in many years, whoever has been performing, taking parts in these activities, they are the first ones to be lifted, taken away by the companies, the best of companies.
Very true, sir. And I would always, agree with this point, because I was a part of such kind of, clubs, and I was the one who was organizing annual fest and, MUN programs. And I was always, very proactive in these things. So maybe that's why I am here, joined Collegedunia.com. So coming to the next question, sir. I think I should have asked this question very earlier. When you first came to education in industry, what was your vision and how are you trying to achieve the same?
Look, I was a fresh graduate out of IIT Kanpur, and first generation of entrepreneur in my family. So of course, IIT was a benchmark. But when we started with, as you said, 4 students and 21 students we could get in that batch. I knew that these students are nowhere near the caliber of a person who gets into IIT. Doesn't matter also, let me tell you, doesn't matter. So that was the time me and my wife Pooja, of course, who I forgot to mention her, she's always been there. We started everything together. So we've been co-founders to all these things. So we decided at that point of time that we will work on raising the bar of every student, So we need to understand where you belong, and we'll teach you, we'll train you, we'll prepare you in such a way that if you belong to this spectrum, it rises to a different horizon. So we are always working towards value addition. So now, as you said, once an engineer, always an engineer. So it goes like this, civil engineering. The whole of engineering revolves around three concepts. It is analysis and design and testing. So you analyze the thing, and that's a rule of life also. As an engineer, I follow this. So you analyze the problem, you design it, and then you test it. Based on the testing, and the external parameter, which governs all this is economics, because it has to be economical. It has to be affordable. So from that day onwards, we have always believed in value addition. That if in Ramswaroop you follow the basics which we have been telling you. Now, earlier we could not say that. We say that now it is tried and tested, because it's been 20 years and so many students, almost 20,000 students have followed it and got what they wanted to. So now it is tried and tested. So we just tell them, if you just follow this, you are going to raise your bar to a different level. If you want to go beyond, just put in a little more effort and you will get there.
Very nice, sir. How does the curriculum of SRMU ensure the best practice of industry?
Look, there is a normal process also which we follow, very vigorously. There is a board of studies in which representation from industry, from the best of institutions, IITs, IIMs, and in case of law, architecture, from the best of history, we get in from there. And at the same time, we at the time of placements, different industries which visit our campuses, so we keep on taking feedback from them also. And then we ask the basic core team of teachers also to study what is going on in the best practice in the best of institutions world over, And then we collate all this. And obviously, I'll tell you what, based on the quality of students which are there, so we know, because most of the students belong to a mediocre, which is above average category just. And then there is a 10-15% of class of students which is the best of best, which can compete with any kind of student. Just to give an example, last year in Amazon, out of 5 all over India, 3 students were from Ramswaroop. A package of 27.5 lakhs, which was done by AKTU. So what I'm saying is, so those 15% of students, they will stand it apart. You just need to just push them a little and they will achieve whatever they want to. So once you do this, then based on this, you have to design your curriculum in such a way that it caters to all these people. Majority of it should cater to the average and above average. So average student should rise to above average. It's in first couple of semesters and then goes further, further, further. And by the end of it, I mean, I wish, and I've seen most of my students getting, much ahead of where they have entered.
So wonderful, sir. I think I'm using the right term for this. I think that's kind of doctor effect, right? That you push it from beginner to you move on to mediocre, and then at the next level. Yeah. So coming to the next question, sir. What do you think should be the university's top priority over the next 10 years?
I think now we have been educating people, transforming them into better human beings. So, I mean, obviously, look, ultimate goal is to make nice, create nice human beings, because everybody is going to become part of the society, and creating nice human beings by saying this, what I mean is happy souls. If we can create happy souls out of Ramswaroop, I think I would say that I have achieved this. But yes, as a university, the most important goal of a university is to become a pioneer or a center for research and development. And we are working hard. Last year, our faculties, our students have produced more than 500 papers in the best of journals. So research is one place we are putting in more effort, and it is only possible with time. It's kind of evolution of an educational institution. So we are evolving, and I'm sure in 10 long years, we'll have a few products coming out for the industry. Very soon, a couple of things which we are doing also. Some solar powered vehicles is what we are working with. Telco has taken some. So we're doing it for a graduate from our college only. There's a couple, who have taken our consultancy. But in future, obviously, say a product like Tesla, I would like to make, with the help of my teachers and my team and my students, come up with a product which creates a difference, ripple in the world somewhere. That's my goal for next 10 years, and I'm sure we are going to achieve it.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. And so, what would you like people to know about your university, which they may not know?
I think which I earlier also mentioned. Let me just frame for this particular question. People only think that Ramswaroop is kind of a school, not a university where we put a lot of emphasis on education. But it's not just that. As I told you, the basic intent is to create nice human beings, happy souls out of the college and everything that we are doing. I mean, everyone should know that whatever effort we are doing, whatever things we are doing, it's to add value to a person, human being, whether it is academically, whether it is as a person, whether it is as part of the society. So that's the core thing that we're trying to do, and you have to have faith. People have to understand that since for last 20 years, students benefited from their education pace. So there is no reason that they're not, the others, coming up are not going to get their dreams. As I rightly said, they chase reality, dreams will follow. This is our tagline. It's a very thoughtful process. People always talk about dreams and then getting it. But, we have, I would say, designed our system in such a way that you just keep picking these real tabs and you will get your dreams. That's one thing which you should be, I can assure you, and you should be confident about that, because we've been doing this for the last 20 years.
True, sir. Coming to the next question, sir. You are the recipient of Young Entrepreneur Award and Entrepreneurs Award 2013. Sir, explain your journey to receive such an honorable awards.
It's again, it's like when you're moving in a vehicle, unless and until you see out, you can't make out how fast you're moving. So just to brief you, when me and Pooja started the courses of engineering in the year 2001, I still remember first year we just out of college, we started working hard with the students with passion and taking it as a challenge. And after the very first year of education, there were at least 100 colleges in the state of UP at that point of time. I'm talking about 2001. The first year, after the final results, I got a call from the then Vice Chancellor, Dr. Durg Singh Chauhan. So he called me up and And he said, Pankaj, you and Pooja have done wonders. I said, what has happened? He said, the topper of the state comes from your college. So I would say, you don't do things to get an award. You do things to achieve or achieve the benchmarks that you create for yourself. And it's a very dynamic kind of a thing. And in case, if you're achieving those targets, again, with a lot of things changing, it's a moving part. Everything is moving. The targets are moving, the whole ambience, the whole scenarios are changing every day. But in that, if you can reach near about those things, and that has become a practice now. Every year you see the topper comes from Ramswaroop. The maximum of merit lists come from us in the university. If you see, if any joint campuses are there where you can compare with yourself with others, our students have always done proud of, they have always got better of others. So I don't know about the award, but what I'm saying, we are really enjoying it. We are really enjoying it, and I think it's the best thing that has happened to us. And very, very thankful to the Almighty for giving us this opportunity. That's what I would say. And getting an award, as again, I always say, I feel I'm the chosen one by the Almighty. So the credit goes to Him for choosing me, not to me, for getting it.
Very nice, sir. Coming to the next question. What valuable advice would you like to the students for them to have a prosperous career ahead?
I would like to change this question a bit. Prosperity, I think, comes much below. You should know, I always tell my students to be happy, to make good friends. And when I say this, and I always tell them this is not easy. Making good friends is when you are truthful to yourself, when you are truthful to others. There are people for everybody. It's not that I can be friendly with others, everybody. So try and remain happy, and that can always happen. There is one question, which every student, I would say, and even after you're out of college, you keep questioning what you want in life. So I think if you put answer to the question about as happiness, and then start searching for the means, will always help you in a better way. So just try and remain happy, because that is what will help you to get things. Whatever gives you stress is not meant for you. I would say, just if you can be happy, that is only possible when you do things where you're most comfortable. Get there, pursue your hobbies, have a lot of friends. That is one thing which is going to be there throughout your life, and become a good human being. So that because the society, the world is what we are. So if you are good, the world is going to be good to you. So that's what I wish that every student takes.
Very nice, sir. And like you mentioned in your previous answer, in fact, you mentioned another scientific law of gravitation, that everything is moving. So in the I would like to ask you, with this law only, do you believe that portals like Collegedunia is helping private universities or colleges to keep them moving, in terms of growth? Do you believe that we actually helping the universities or colleges to giving them the quality students which they actually requiring?
I think in the current scenarios where this development in the field of education has been so rapid, imagine 98 is when the government of UP started. They felt that education should become part of, with private players also, they should come into this field. And today, as we stand, we have almost 30 universities, 18 more have been passed. So it is very important for portals like Collegedunia to educate people, because people are getting confused. We are 20 years old group. There are groups which are 10 years old, 7 years, 2 years. So it is. Your responsibility becomes higher in educating people, making them understand what they want and where they get it. And at the same time, this is only possible when you understand both sides of this, if I can say, businesses or both kind of establishments. student psyche also, and as well as the college psyche also, which university delivers what. I mean, I feel, ranking two universities, five universities is not right, because every university you ask somebody else, chancellor of other university, you will say, because it's not like कि एक ही रास्ता है आपको जो आपको पाना है मोक्ष पाने का. The different ways, if you go back during our Veda days, somebody would go after Brahma, somebody would go after Vishnu, or so there are different ways, and with whatever ways you get in, you ultimately want that moksha, peace, and the thing, which goals of your life. So I fully agree, so your responsibility becomes bigger, and of course you've been helping and in telling people what are they looking for. I would only, if I can put in a word, make it more analytical. Analyze what they want, and then accordingly you give them a bouquet. It's like bouquet of flowers, and to each his own liking. You can give them, but you must tell them the facts where they belong, because comparing two things is very difficult, very, very difficult. Still, you can do some things. So it's very important. It's almost impossible without the help of Collegedunia or similar platforms for a student to get where they wish to.
Very nice, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and visions. And I think with this interview, whosoever, like the students who are actually looking for the colleges and best colleges or university, they might be they might help. This interview might help them in decision making, and I hope so that it will be helpful for you and Collegedunia as well. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time. It was an honor for us to have you on our portal.